If you experience anxiety, trust me, you are not alone. Anxiety doesn't have to rule our lives. We have a better understanding, more so now than we ever have, of what's happening in the brain when we're experiencing anxiety. Anxiety is really a protective mechanism that our brain gets looped into in order to keep us safe. It's composed of many different electrochemical as well as neurological factors, but some core ones are tied directly to experiences of worry, fear, and rumination. So we worry about what might happen in the future. We ruminate on the difficult experiences of our past. And anxiety is all about this right here, right now possibility, expectation, or concern that something could go possibly sideways. One of the things that's really interesting about anxiety is that it's tied to many experiences across the course of our life, usually. And it's triggered by those experiences and many of their complex components. You see, every difficult moment in our life is made up not only of the survival experience or the threatening stimuli in the moment that we had to survive through, whether it be real or perceived. It's also composed of all of the contextual elements that are going on around us in the moment, as well as all of the complex content. So if something scary happened to you when you're in a crowded building with a whole bunch of people, you might find yourself suddenly feeling nervous or anxious while you're surrounded by a lot of people, or at the thought of being around a lot of people. Our brain loves to generalize and link experiences to one another, especially if they're tied to threat states. And anxiety, especially generalized anxiety, becomes a complex representation of all these different times where our brain has experienced a threat and said, I'm going to remember that. And the more of those experiences we have, the more our brain shifts and rearranges itself to worry and stay fearful in order to keep us safe. And over the course of time, that can actually rearrange our nervous system so that we're living outside what's called our zone of tolerance. This is the space where our brain and our body feel balanced and able to appropriately respond to a moment of activation or reactivity rather than flying off the handle or freaking out. And being mindful to bring yourself back into that window of tolerance with intention is really, really important. And it's a wonderful opportunity to change your anxiety in addition to simply understanding where your anxiety comes from so that you can change the way your brain is processing information in your day-to-day life. You see, the good news is our brain is highly plastic. It will go where we direct it to go when we are in intentional relationship with it. That means through doing thought-challenging exercises, through doing meditation and mindfulness work, through utilizing our hate-winning techniques and CPR for the amygdala, as well as the Creating Possibilities protocol. We can heal our fear brain and create intentional new neural pathways for our brain to travel along. But one of the most important steps is to understand where the narrative of our fear comes from. Because anxiety at its core is about fear. How have your thoughts and your feelings played a role in cultivating and curating your emotional world right now? Because anxiety is about keeping us safe. And the more we can lean into understanding all parts of our emotional world, the stronger we are to stay in our window of tolerance. And within that space, we have great agency.